The cold evening wind swept across the small town as the last traces of daylight faded behind the hills. The female CEO, Alina Carter, known for her fierce leadership, unshakable confidence, and flawless reputation, had just finished a long board meeting and stepped outside to clear her mind. Her company was on the brink of a major merger, and she had been under relentless pressure for months. She sighed, rubbing her temples, wanting nothing more than silence and air. That's when she heard the sound, soft, trembling, and carrying the unmistakable tone of fear. Ma'am, I can't find my daddy." Alina froze. Turning slowly, she saw a little girl no older than 6 standing alone near the edge of the parking lot, her tiny hands clutching a worn stuffed rabbit. Her eyes glistened with tears, and her boots were muddy, as if she'd been wandering for hours. Breathing heavily, the girl pointed toward the dark woods behind Alina's corporate building. "He went in there, Daddy went in there, but he didn't come back." A chill prickled Alina's spine, not from the cold, but from something deeper, instinctive. The woods were dangerous, especially after sunset. Locals told endless stories of hunters getting lost, hikers disappearing, and animals prowling freely. "What's your name, sweetheart?" Alina asked gently, kneeling down. "Leah," the girl whispered, hugging her rabbit tighter. "Daddy told me to wait near the road, but it got dark, and I got scared, and..." Her voice cracked. Alina's corporate instincts, the part of her trained to evaluate risks, assess situations, stay logical, urged her to call authorities and wait. But something else, something human and urgent, pushed through. Without another second of hesitation, Alina grabbed her coat, wrapped it around the trembling child, and said, "We're going to find your daddy. I promise." Leah's eyes widened with fragile hope. Holding the girl's tiny hand, Alina stepped toward the woods, the branches swaying ominously in the wind. The deeper they walked, the colder the air became. The trees loomed tall and twisted, their shadows creeping across the ground like dark fingers. Every crackle of leaves made the little girl flinch. "It's okay," Alina whispered, squeezing her hand. "I'm here." They followed the faint footprints in the mud, heavy steps mixed with smaller, hurried ones. Leah kept pointing, leading Alina deeper, her breaths turning shaky. "Daddy said he heard something," she said softly. Like crying, Alina swallowed hard. The forest felt alive, watching them, listening, whispering secrets through the rustling leaves. Suddenly, a distant cry echoed through the woods. Not an animal. Human. Desperate. "Daddy!" Leah screamed, breaking free from Alina's hand and sprinting toward the sound. "Leah, wait!" Alina shouted, running after her. Branches whipped against her coat, her heels sinking into the wet ground, but she didn't stop. Her lungs burned, her heart thundering as the girl vanished behind a cluster of thick trees. "Leah!" Alina's voice cracked with panic. She forced her way through the trees and stumbled into a small clearing. There, lying near a fallen log, was a man, his leg trapped beneath a heavy branch, his face pale with pain. "Daddy!" Leah fell to her knees beside him, sobbing. The man lifted his hand weakly. "Leah, baby, you found someone." His voice was barely a whisper. Alina rushed forward, assessing the situation with the precision of a trained leader. The man's leg was severely injured, blood soaking through torn fabric. The branch pinning him down was thick, heavy, impossible for her to move alone. "Don't worry," she said firmly. "I'm getting you out." She removed her coat, wrapped it around his upper body to maintain warmth, then picked up Leah, holding her tightly. "Stay with him. Keep talking to him. Don't let him pass out. I'll be right back." "Where are you going?" Leah cried. "To get help," Alina answered, her voice steady. "And I will come back. I promise." But as she turned to run, a sharp, animalistic howl echoed from deeper in the woods, freezing her in place. Leah clung to her father, trembling. Alina clenched her jaw, heart pounding. This wasn't just a rescue, it was a race against time. A race against the dark. A race against whatever else was out there. She turned back, determination blazing in her eyes. "Hold on," she said. "All of you. I'm getting us out of this." And just like that, Alina Carter, the ruthless CEO feared by business giants, ran into the darkness with a courage she never knew she had, to save a little girl, her father, and maybe a part of herself she thought she'd lost forever. Alina sprinted through the darkness with branches whipping her face, her breath forming icy clouds as she pushed deeper into the woods in search of help, her heels long abandoned somewhere behind her. Every heartbeat echoed in her ears like a drum, reminding her that the little girl and her injured father depended on her alone. She had never felt fear like this, not even during the hardest negotiations of her career, but tonight was different. Tonight she wasn't protecting a company, she was protecting lives. The forest seemed to stretch endlessly, each shadow twisting into something more sinister, each sound sending a chill through her spine. Suddenly, she saw a dim light ahead flickering between the trees, a ranger cabin. Hope surged through her like a flame. She rushed to the door and pounded frantically. An older forest ranger opened, startled by the sight of a mud-covered CEO gasping for breath. "There's a man trapped under a fallen branch, his little girl is with him, the woods aren't safe, please," she managed to say, voice trembling. The ranger didn't waste a second. Grabbing his first aid kit and radio, he led the way as they hurried back. As they approached the clearing, Alina's worst fear hit her. The girl wasn't crying anymore. The silence felt suffocating. "Leah!" she shouted, running ahead. She found the child pressed against her father's chest, her tiny body shaking uncontrollably, whispering, "Daddy, don't sleep, please don't sleep." The man's eyes were half closed, his breath shallow. Alina felt panic claw at her, but the ranger knelt beside him, quickly assessing the damage. "If we don't move him now, he won't make it," he said. Working together, Alina and the ranger lifted the heavy branch with all their strength. Her arms screamed in pain, but she didn't stop until the man was free. The ranger wrapped his leg, stabilizing it, then radioed for backup. When the rescue team arrived and carried the man onto a stretcher, Leah refused to let go of Alina's hand. "Don't leave us," the little girl whispered, tears streaking down her cheeks. Something inside Alina shattered and rebuilt itself all at once. She lifted Leah into her arms, holding her close as they walked behind the stretcher. At the hospital, doctors confirmed the man would survive thanks to the quick rescue. Leah clung to Alina the entire time, refusing to leave her side. Hours later, when the father woke up, his eyes welled with gratitude. "Ma'am, thank you, you saved my little girl, you saved me," she shook her head softly. "No," she whispered, "Leah saved all of us." The man smiled weakly. "You don't even know us, why did you help?" Alina paused, looking at Leah asleep in her arms. "Because no child should ever have to cry alone in the dark." Days passed, and Alina visited them often, bringing food, toys, comfort, and with every visit, Leah's tiny arms wrapped around her neck a bit tighter, as if she had found someone she never knew she needed. The father, humbled and emotional, told her their story, a single parent struggling after losing his wife, doing everything he could for Leah but falling behind in life. Alina listened, heart aching, realizing she had spent years building an empire but had forgotten what it meant to feel. Their bond grew stronger, and slowly, what began as a rescue turned into a new beginning, the start of an unlikely family built not from blood, but from courage, kindness, and love. And as Alina walked out of the hospital one evening, Leah holding her hand and calling her, Auntie Alina, for the first time, the powerful CEO felt something she had never felt before: purpose, real purpose, born not from success, but from saving a little girl who had once whispered, "Ma'am, I can't find my daddy."